I know it's all well and good me ranting about articles I hate because it's like a woman director, and I read these a lot of STEM articles, and it's about why aren't there women in science? It's like, why aren't women doing this? Why aren't women doing that? And they're talking to women like my age, and we've already decided what we want to do. And granted, some women, you know, there's that spark of inspiration. They could read something and think, I haven't tried that. But the majority of us, we've maybe decided what we want to do. And I feel guilty because I read these articles and I'm just like, why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I being a role model and doing this and, you know, showing all the women how it's done? But it's amazing how much stuff gets through the net. You know, there's some brilliant women on BBC at the moment. People like Dr. Alice Roberts, who I've got a lot of respect for. They never brought Dr. Alice Roberts out and went, look, a woman talking about scientific things. She just appeared, and we were like, damn, she's cool. And that's the way it should be, because that's the way it works for men as well. You don't say, oh, there's, you know, look, man, and what does he do? You think, oh god, that bloke's quite cool. And that's what happened for me with like people like Dr. Alice Roberts and like Susanna Lipscomb, and you watch them and you're like, and Liz Bonin, and you look at them and you think, wow, they're smart and charismatic and kind of cool, and I love that about them. And the fact that they're women, it does play into my psyche a bit, because you do kind of think, could I be that cool? Could I be like that? And that's a lot of what's important to women in film, you know, and women on film, is we need that sort of gateway. And it is important to talk about women in film. And granted, I do think we do need more women directors, but this idea of just saying to women, why aren't there more women directors? Why aren't you being a director? You know, it's not going to help matters. But the fact of the matter is, as much as we need female directors, I think what we're really, really low on are positive female representations in film. But what we need, like I said before about, you know, these women on the BBC, and we look at them and we think, God, we could be like that. That's what's important to film and TV. I mean, we look at these things and we think they don't have an effect on us, you know, there's two-dimensional images. But the fact is, when you watch a film, you put yourself in the place of the protagonist. This is the reason why men don't really watch rom-coms, women don't watch action films, because that protagonist, that lead role, you put yourself sort of in their body, they're a conduit for you, for the adventure. So that's why everyone, you know, the Hunger Games, Katniss was such an important thing, because she is the lead role, she is going around having the adventure, and as women we put ourselves in that position and we're having that adventure with her. And that's what we need to get more of on screen. We need to get women who can be identified with, and not just for us. And this is what I think is most important, with all those articles that say to women my age, why aren't you doing this, why aren't you doing that? What we really need to be doing is showing young girls what is available to them. And there's all these kind of celebrities, and it's not even the celebrities' fault sometimes, it's the media, and there's all these little kids and they just want to be famous. And for them, and for us at our age, we need to get more positive representations of women on screen. That's why I think it's really important that we need more women screenwriters. And what's great is there are so many great women writers out there at the moment. I mean, some of the best books coming out, they're by women. And that's what we really need to do. We need to encourage more female writers. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some men who write brilliant women. I mean, Joss Whedon for one. But encouraging all this writing, that's what we need to do. But the problem is as well, because you'd think, oh, well, we're encouraging directing. Why do you have a problem with that? Why do you have the articles directing? But the thing is, we're not encouraging anything. We're just going, why are there not women there? Just writing good articles about these women, you know, biographies, you know, Huffington Post and The Guardian. I'm looking at you. You know, you write these things about women in film, but what's so bad about just spending that time, you know, writing a, you know, doing an interview with Andrea Arnold, or writing a biography of Miranda July, and take out the constant use of the word woman, and you could free up some word count to write about something else, write about how they feel about film and how they think about film. But it just bothers me, because instead of talking about the women who are doing the good jobs and allowing the encouragement to come naturally, we have to keep, you know, you can't, it feels weird. It feels like if you go into the film industry these days as a woman, it feels like you've got all this pressure to be a certain way. Maybe that's what I feel. I don't know. I think I do sort of feel it in a way. Like, you have to show you've done this kind of good fight and how you've supported the other woman and this, that and the other. And I think my favourite directors are men. And then people would go, oh, because there's not enough women. But I don't know. And it just confuses me and annoys me. I would love to just read an article about a director who happens to be a woman. The way I read articles about directors who happen to be men. All that wasted word count. And I know it's important to talk about, it's an important issue, and I understand why the journalists bring it up. But it's not all we've got to talk about. You know, I want to know why those women decided to make film. You know, I know stories about like how different directors, male directors, finally, you know, arrived at film. But every time I read an article about a woman, it's always about how she feels being a woman in the film industry and any obstacles she might have come across. And it's important to talk about those obstacles, but it's also important to talk about what they've achieved. That's how we can improve everything, to write about women in a positive way in the industry, but without constantly banging on about the fact that they're a woman. Can you imagine that someone, you made your first film and someone wrote an article about you and all they kept asking was, and as a woman, and you think, being a woman, did that affect how I made my film? We just really need to fix some of the images of women on screen. And shouting loudly about why isn't going to help, because the why is pretty obvious. Because women, you know, young women haven't seen on screen and in the media. That's the thing they're not seeing in the media now. Oh, a director, what's that? But at the moment they're being bombarded, little girls being bombarded with images of this is the way to be, you know. It's important to look good, and we've got to show them how important it is what you think, and we just have to show them. We don't have to shove it down their throats. We just show them.